28-year-old Foundr Magazine's Nathan Chan has hustled his way to a community of over 1 million people. Yeah, 1 million, including almost 500,000 Instagram followers and interviews with the likes of Sir Richard Branson. And here's how he does it.
Yeah, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You, right there, walking the dog. You're a motivated business owner, yeah, and you're ready to crank out some great marketing. And well done to you for showing up again. If it's your second, third, maybe it's your 100th time around. And if you're new to the show, a big, warm, small business, big marketing welcome. Well done to you for getting ready to take your business to the next level. Hey, team, big show today, long show today. Unapologetically long, because it's got some marketing gold in it. I have a chat to Nathan Chan. He is the founder of, it's a bit confusing, he's the founder of Foundr Magazine, Foundr, one of the top 10 business mags on the App Store. And he shares his secrets because he's a red-hot hustler, and you're about to be if you listen in. And he's interviewed people like Seth Godin, which is kind of a little bit upsetting. If you're a long-time listener to the show, you'll know why. But, oh boy, does he share some secrets. We're going to get stuck into that in a minute. I've got a listener question about how to get their product in front of travel agents. I'll give them some tips which apply to your business. Even if you're not trying to get in front of travel agents, you'll be able to apply those tips. And I've got a motivational marketing quote that is all about the courage of small business owners. Now, today's show, lovingly brought to you by the good folk at Net Registry who get your online marketing sorted. And they've got some exclusive listener packages for people just like you over at netregistry.com.au/Timbo, including an SEO booster package in which they have very kindly dropped the $149 setup fee. We're also made possible by the good folk at 99 Designs, the world's largest graphic design marketplace, where designers from all over the world compete to get you a design you'll love, guaranteed in 7 days. And you can get a free $99 upgrade over at 99designs.com/Timbo, which gets your competition in front of more brilliant designers. Hey, as per usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
There's a treasure trove of marketing gold over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Get on Timbo's mailing list over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
Right-o. So, Nathan Chan, publisher and editor of Foundr Magazine, which is a digital mag for young entrepreneurs or young at heart entrepreneurs, which you can find on the App Store and the Google Play Store. Now, he founded it in March 2013 in his bedroom of his parents' home. Yes, it's another one of those stories, but it's quickly become one of the top 10 ranked magazines in businesses and investing on the App Store. He was an absolute pleasure to interview. And he has interviewed some amazing people, by the way. Richard Branson, Arianna Huffington, Tim Ferris, Tony Robbins, Seth Godin. Yeah, whatever. I met Nathan at a conference recently on the Gold Coast. He's a very unassuming guy. Could possibly get asked for ID when trying to get into a club still. Sorry, Nathan. Probably don't like me saying that. But most importantly, he's a real hustler who's very good at getting what he wants and making things happen. In this fireside chat, we talk about how the magazine was founded. He shares some marketing strategies and magazine strategies that have produced exceptional results, how he built a 443,000 people Instagram following, and how he goes about snagging some amazing interviews. I started off by asking Nathan, what's the scariest thing he's ever done?
Ooh, I think probably handling a lawsuit first 4 months in business.
No. Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, tell me about the day that letter arrived.
Yeah, so that was really scary, man. Because I started Foundr while I was working my full-time job.
Yeah. Which was?
Just working in IT support at a travel company called Intrepid Travel.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. It was a grind, I can tell you that much. And like the magazine wasn't even called Foundr. It's called something else. And first 4 months in, so I started it while I was working my day job, first business, didn't know much about anything, just trying to find my way. And I got this. I woke up to go to work in the morning because I was always checking my Foundr emails or the work emails, and I was about to go to the day job, and it was really funny. It wasn't funny at the time. It was super scary. I got this email from this dude saying like, hey, my name's so-and-so. I'm from Dallas State, Texas. Oh. I just wanted to let you know, you're being sued by this company for trademark infringement, and I actually have a really good relationship with the judge. He used to maybe mentor me or something, and we want to act now. And he's like, you should totally get me to represent you.
Right.
And I just absolutely freaked out. Yeah. And I didn't know what to do. I was so scared, dude.
It's sounding a bit spammy at this point. Was it for real?
Yeah. It was for real. I didn't know whether it was sophisticated spam. And like the first thing I did was jump on the phone to one of my mentors and like, what do I do? What do I do? And, a week later, I actually did get served. And, a FedEx package came and I had to sign off. And I had this, 50-page booklet of things that are happening.
No. And what happened?
Well, I just changed the name and worked my way through it.
Simple as that. So okay, guys, I'm not so wedded to the name. Like, can I just put the 50 pages aside and I'll do anything you want?
Yeah, pretty much. I was bent over, man.
Oh, that is scary.
Super scary, but it ended up being a blessing in disguise because the old name, and I can't say what it is, but right. it was a 3-worded name as opposed to 1 word.
It was probably an absolute shocker.
Yeah, it was. It was an absolute shocker. And, I'm really happy with the new name and new branding. It was kind of like a round 2.
Love it, buddy. Well, thanks for sharing that. That is a scary moment. And many would have just gone, oh, you know what? The IT support gig, pretty comfortable, pretty safe.
That's right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm going back there. Did you tell your boss we were working on a new project, a new business? You had an escape plan?
Yes, I did.
You hesitated then?
Yeah, because at first I didn't, because when I started working on Foundr, I didn't even tell my friends because I felt like such an imposter.
Why?
And well, here's the thing, right, Tim? Like, I never started a business before, man, and I just created this thing. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I was scared to fail. I was scared of what other people would think. I was embarrassed. I was creating a magazine on entrepreneurship, and I didn't even know anything about entrepreneurship. Right. It took a while to really feel comfortable in my shoes. Even I felt like a fraud in the sense I didn't even put my photo in the first 6 editors' letters because I wanted us to appear like a big company. And I was going through a lot of things, when I first started, man.
Has that changed? Are you comfortable in your own shoes now?
Oh, of course.
Are you?
Yeah,
well, no, that's interesting because you clearly, have you heard about imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it?
No, I don't have it right now, no.
But you had it back then. Because it's interesting, because often if you've got it, I mean, it's a hard thing to lose, but because you're kind of operating in this space where you just you don't think you belong. But it's kind of interesting. So 2.5 years down the track, you feel as though you belong in this entrepreneurial space, which is true. I mean, you have done something, you've created something out of nothing, which is what a good entrepreneur does, hey?
Yeah, that's it. Well, thank you, man. I think the best way for me to get over that when I was going through that imposter syndrome was just hearing from our customers, hearing from people in our community that, just sent these emails that were just full of absolute gold. That was just...
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Mate, I get them every day and I still sometimes read them and I go, oh, I don't know if it was me that actually did that for you, And it's often not. It's often my guest. But, I think people like you and I are the conduit for bringing great things to business owners, in a sense. That's how I see myself in this lucky position of kind of connecting information with people, and it's a great position to be in. You said you built Foundr for yourself. Yeah? It's the magazine that was missing, or the content that was missing.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you mean?
So when I started Foundr, I felt that there wasn't really a magazine in the space that spoke to aspiring entrepreneurs, novice stage entrepreneurs, and people that were maybe looking to start something or just about to start something. I think a lot of the big print publications or big business magazines go off the assumption that you already have a business. And also there wasn't really a magazine in the space for young entrepreneurs. And when I say young, I mean, 35 and under.
Because I was going to call you on some, we're going to talk about some of the names that you're attracting for interviews. Sort of jealous. Not really. We'll talk about that later, Nathan, but some of them are crusty old blokes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, they really are. Your Tony Robbins and your Seth Godins. Yeah, whatever. Your Tim Ferris. I don't know how Tim is. He's bald. I don't know. Does that make him old? But it's kind of interesting kind of juxtaposition where you're leaning on these crusty old blokes to appear in your magazine, but you're trying to appeal to the cool crowd, the young crowd.
Yeah, that's a really good point you make. And it's funny you say that because we position it as we're targeting, aspiring entrepreneurs, novice stage entrepreneurs, and we do get a lot of experienced entrepreneurs and seasoned entrepreneurs read the publication and are part of our community, but majority is aspiring and novice stage. So we position it as, we can interview a Richard Branson or a Seth Godin. You can draw from their experiences because what we're trying to extract is actionable, strategical, tactical-based stuff that you can take away.
Yeah, right. Okay. And then you've got people like Michelle Phan, who's the YouTuber, and, she's more kind of your age, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
How old are you?
Right.
You're 15, aren't you?
No, I'm 28. And it's so funny. It was really funny. When we first met at that event, you were like, you said to me when we were out for drinks, you go, "Oh, boys, isn't it past your bedtime?" And I was like, "Here he goes. Who's this bloke?"
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That was very rude of me. I don't remember saying that, but it was just my way of kind of entering the conversation more than an observation about your youthful looks. But, what can I say? I take it back and I apologise on air in front of everyone. How's that? Make you feel better?
No, we're good.
Jeez, man, you are high maintenance. I didn't realise. Can we talk about your 10-page writer that you sent me before the interview? Hey, now, so love it. You've put the magazine together that you wanted to read as someone wanting to start a business. Where do you start? You don't need to take us through the process of putting a magazine together, Nathan, but what was your biggest hurdle in doing it? Was it yourself or something kind of process?
I think it was process driven because I was working my day job and I had to, it's a monthly publication, I had to work out how we can produce a monthly publication that's valuable to people, but not in the sense like an entrepreneur magazine where it's 150, 200, 300 pages, 250 pages with, 30, 40 articles. So I had to find that balance. And I think I had to get those interviews, had to get that content put together. So that was probably the biggest hurdle, just getting into that groove while I had my day job. So I was just relentlessly working after hours, lunch breaks, before I'd start, you name it, just to try and wrap it all together. And then, I think it also was just coming up with I guess a standard that we could happily produce and ship on every single month. And when I say ship, I mean put it out there into the world. Yeah,
totally. So the format, it's an e-mag. It's on App Store. It's on
Android.
Google Android. It's how many? What typical number of pages?
60 to 80.
Wow, that's full on, mate. That is full on. Well done to you.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me, was there a moment when you kind of bring it to market where you're just like, man, I'm on fire. This is unreal. That entrepreneurial spark that's just kind of gone from being a spark to a full-on blaze where you're just like, I can't get enough of this.
Yeah, so the game changed for me, Timbo, when we launched the first day, which was March 5th, 2013. And I'll never forget that feeling because we made $5 on our first day. We had 80 downloads. We made $5 on our first day. And it was just such an amazing feeling to know that I'd created something with my own two hands and people were willing to exchange their cold, hard cash that they've earned for something that I'd created. And I think there's such an amazing feeling. It's so underrated. You know what I mean? Like your first ever product.
Mate, I agree. I mean,
Your
even
first
now,
ever
people
sale.
giving you money, it's an honour, isn't it? I think so many business owners, we get so stuck in kind of just grinding through the business that we forget to celebrate those moments when someone hands their credit card over.
Yeah, you got to celebrate the wins, man. And that's when, that fire that I have right now was lit inside me.
And it continues. It doesn't diminish.
No.
Love it. Love it, mate. Man, you put some numbers around it now. So you 2.5 years down the track. Share what you can share, Nathan, in terms of, I don't know, revenue, staff, subscribers. What do you got?
Yeah, so look, I can tell you that we have a combination between paid and unpaid 25,000 monthly readers. I can share across all of our assets, whether it's social, email, web traffic, app downloads, podcast downloads. We've got a community of over 1 million people, entrepreneurs, that across all of our assets. I can tell you that we have, I think it's 4 full-time staff and a ton of contractors. Like there's at least 10 of us that are always working on something. I can tell you that we're a top 10 ranked business and investing magazine in the App Store, sitting next to Entrepreneur, Fast Company, Forbes, Fortune.
Have any of those guys reached out to you?
No, never. Never. Because I think you'll find that still all of their sales comes from print. Not much of it would come from digital. So they're not really concerned. And what's happened with us also, Timbo, is we've moved from not just a model, a traditional publishing model. We've moved into, I guess, a multifaceted platform. So we're not just about building a magazine anymore. We're about building a multifaceted platform that comes in the range of a membership site, educational courses, a podcast, a magazine.
Now you're talking.
That's it. Now we're talking. So I think our direction is a little bit different to a lot of those guys.
Yeah, totally.
That's kind of what's happening. I can tell you that in terms of revenue, multiple 6 figures, not far off 7 a year. So things are going really well.
How do you feel about all that? You've ripped off some very impressive numbers there. In the cold, hard light of day, you look at that, how does it make you feel?
Oh, it feels great, mate. But you know what? I'll tell you something, Timbo. I don't know if this happens, like I'm sure your audience would experience this where you're like, I got to get to this. If only this can happen. If only this can happen. And then once you get there, it's like, okay, well, what's the next thing? And it's just never enough. For me, it's just never enough. So it's constantly like, it can be like you have to always try and look back and see like, look, this is how far I've come, because otherwise you can get really tough on yourself, I think.
Yeah. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. Hey, listeners, I am chatting with Nathan Chan, the founder and chief hustler at Foundr Magazine. Before we talk about the art of the hustle, here's a word from a couple of businesses that can lighten your marketing load. Support for this show comes from 99 Designs, where dozens of designers compete to deliver a fast, affordable design you'll love. Speaking of love, their big cheese, Patrick Llewellyn, recently compared 99 Designs to a dating site.
We really think of contests almost like the dating paradigm. You go to a nightclub, it's noisy, there's a lot of people to meet. You get to meet a lot of people. And if you're lucky, at the end of that process, you might meet someone, right? And then you go on and have dates. And so a contest is kind of like that paradigm. You put up your proposal, lots of designers submit their ideas, and then you start to whittle down to a few of the ones that really resonate with you. And then ultimately you pick one of them. And once you've picked that one designer, the chances of you going on to work with that designer to get other things designed is actually very high.
99 Designs, where love is in the air. For a free $99 upgrade on your first design, visit 99designs.com/Timbo.
Get on Timbo's mailing list over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
Support for this show comes from Net Registry. Recently, I was Skyping it up with Verity Ma, their Chief Marketing Officer, when the line deteriorated. She thought it may be because she had loads of browsers open. At which point I'm like, why so many browsers?
Well, because websites appear differently on different browsers. So if I run multiple, then I can get a sense of how our websites are tracking across different browsers and customers' websites.
Net Registry, where attention to detail rules. Visit netregistry.com.au/Timbo for a website that works on, well, all browsers. Now, Nathan, I do want to talk about the hustle, mate, because you're the king of it. But
Thank you.
just want to finish the founder conversation. Marketing. What works for Foundr? You've got the podcast, but is that your major source of marketing, or you got some crazy stuff happening on Instagram? Where do your clients come from?
Oh, from a lot of different channels, Timbo.
Yeah.
I think we're doing two things really well, and I think this is what I focus on when it comes to our marketing. We've got one customer acquisition channel, which is an absolute beast, which is Instagram. We generate, depending how hard we push, anywhere between 10,000 to 30,000 new email newsletter subscribers every single month. We've grown our Instagram from 0 to 400, close to 450,000 in just on 12 months. And that's been an absolute beast, not just from email newsletter subscribers, but sales and also exposure of the brand.
Yeah, that's insane.
So we've found that one channel and we've just hit it extremely hard. Like, we're doubling down on it. We're not looking for any other channels. We're not worrying about Pinterest. We do stuff on Twitter, Facebook and Google+, but we don't really focus on it and hit it really hard. So that's one channel that we've just crushed, that is doing really, really well for us. The podcast is a great channel just for, I think, sharing our interviews, because this is where the other piece comes in. I think we've done really well is influencer marketing and aligning ourselves with influencers in our niche, and just, I guess, having tremendous amounts of social proof that if somebody came to our website, if somebody came to our podcast or saw a magazine cover, they'd be like, whoa, these guys interviewed Richard Branson, Seth Godin, Tim Ferris, Tony Robbins. These guys must be legit. Like, these guys, I want to listen to what these guys have going on. I want to read what these guys have going on. This must be good content.
Yep.
And I think aligning ourselves with those influencers across the magazine, podcast, whatever, has allowed us to really position ourselves well as an authority, which gets cut through of all the noise in our space.
And that whole authority positioning, I mean, it's critical. Again, if there's a lesson here for other small business owners listening, it's like, how can you position yourself as an authority? And I reckon many will go, oh, well, I can't. There's people better than me in my industry. What do you say to them?
I don't think that's true.
Neither do I.
I think there's always, like, whatever market you're in, there's always going to be, the top 10 influencers or people that are influencing that market, whether they sell or whether they promote whatever it is that, So, for example, in our industry, we've got the top podcasts, we've got the top magazines, we've got the top blogs, but then we've also got personal brands of, like, the Gary Vaynerchuks or the Richard Bransons or the Elon Musk. And these are people that, have a business doing cool stuff, but they're essentially, a lot of what they do is they promote entrepreneurship. So you have to work out who are the influencers that you want to align yourself with, who are the people that you want to potentially partner up with, because, there's so many people that, for your audience especially, there's so many people that have these influencers in their space and they view them as competitors when they shouldn't, maybe. That's what I think. And I think that if you look at the top YouTubers, you look at all these other companies that, they're all doing partnerships, they're all aligning and they're cross-promoting. And that's what you need to be thinking
really
about.
Limiting.
What you can do.
I could have said, you asked me about 30 times to come on this show. I'm like, no. Oh, okay. No, that's not true, listeners. He didn't ask me once. I asked him. But I could have gone, if I had that micro view, I'd go, well, Nathan and I both got podcasts on the iTunes store and, God, I don't want him to beat me. But I don't look at it that way. It's just kind of like, it's limiting. I had a lady on a couple of weeks ago who owns some bra stores, and she is nailing this concept of turning competitors into contributors or collaborators, actually. And it was just clever. She competes with the Myers and the David Jones of the world, but instead of competing, she goes to the staff there and says, hey, listen, if you can't fit a particular woman into a bra, then send them over here because we're bra specialists. So there's I just love that big thinking because there's enough room for everyone, right?
That's right.
That said, mate, if you could stop your podcast after the next episode, that'd be really good. Hey, I want to get into the hustling thing, Nathan, but just tell me, I can't let that Instagram thing go so easily because those numbers just 400. I can confirm that you've got 443,000 followers on Insta and you've got 1,100 posts, mate. Now, when I see numbers like that on any social media, first of all, I go, bastards. Secondly, I go, they've bought them. They've just bought them. They've gone onto Fiverr and they've paid someone in India to just kind of I know you haven't done that. And I know you've got a training course on Instagram, which I'll put a link to in my show notes, listeners. But can you take us behind the scenes of that little tweak?
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah.
I'd love to. So before we wrap up, can I just say one thing around social proof and influencers? Another thing you can do, I just want to say this because I felt that I really have to say this, is another great way to build your social proof and, even if you don't have to align yourself with influencers, is you can use your customers and get as many testimonials as you can. I think that's really, really key for building trust. I just wanted to say that, Timbo, because that's something we do a lot as well.
Tell me, how do you... Okay, I agree. Testimonials used strategically tactically in the right places, I think work. So, for example, if you're talking about your Instagram product and alongside your sales copy, you've got third-party endorsements, testimonials, then that's good. But I don't like necessarily seeing a testimonial section on a website that just lists 100 testimonials. So what's your view on using that third-party endorsement?
I think you want to get a combination of recommendations from influencers and also testimonials, but I think the more the better. I know myself when I go to anybody's website, I want to see on the homepage, where have they been featured? Have they been featured on entrepreneur.com? Have they been in Inc? And then I also want to see customer testimonials, and I also want to see, any big brands that they're working with. Just, I don't know, me personally, I want to smash people with as much social proof and trust as possible.
Yeah, gotcha. Insta, talk to me.
So what we did with Instagram was, it's funny, I had some friends that were crushing on Instagram in the health niche, and I didn't think it was, they were telling me it wasn't possible to do what they're doing for entrepreneurship and business, it's more female related and all that kind of stuff. And what happened was I was bringing on an intern about a year ago to help us with some Instagram stuff, and I just jumped on the account who had 500 followers or something, and I did a couple of posts, and I just saw a sales spike for the magazine. I was like, oh, well, what's going on here? And that pretty much just took us down this path of just absolutely battle testing Instagram and just working out how to grow it really fast. And what we've found works really, really well is a few things. One, you have a clear, consistent, theme. So you don't, if you're gonna post about your brand, you don't post heaps of photos of what you've had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, photos of your family, photos of your pets, and then post about your business and then people using your product. Like, you've got to have a consistent theme. So for us, if you come to our page straight away, you know we're about entrepreneurship. We say it in our bio, and we have a strong call to action in the link of our bio. And the whole goal of our Instagram page isn't really to get more followers. It's to get more clicks to a landing page, to get more people to sign up to our newsletter, and then we can build a relationship with that person.
Totally. And really great distinction there. None of this social media stuff is about getting more followers, more likes. No. If that's the end game, get over it. Move on. It is about moving people across into your funnel, into your buying cycle.
That's right. So there has to be some sort of sales process. So Instagram is just a channel that helps facilitate that sales process. And what we've done is, now I've got that sales process down pat. It's like, well, how do you get more eyeballs to your Instagram page? And we've worked out there's 2 core things that we do, Timbo. One, we post on a consistent basis. Ever since I've started our Instagram page, I've only missed 1 day of posting, and that's because I was traveling between to India for our designer's wedding, but it's a whole nother story.
Right.
And so we've posted every single day, and we try and post 4 to 8 times a day consistently. We try and hit all time zones, so not only just Australia, but US as well. And we also post quotes for some reason. I don't know why. But quotes work extremely well, where people want to tag their friends in, they want to share it with their friends, they want to screenshot that quote or post or startup tip or fact, and they post it on their own feed, or they make it their background photo on their phone, or they might post it and not even reference us, or they might steal it. Like, we've had some celebrities like LL Cool J, or some people just zoom into the post, but then cut off our founder branding.
Wow.
But either way, it has the quotes game has this viral component that makes people want to share it.
Nathan,
and makes people want to follow us.
Are those 3 steps, clear, consistent theme, consistency of posting, and the posting of quotes, is that the secret sauce?
Yeah, I think so. But
you're killing me. Isn't it amazing?
I've got a few more.
Oh, okay. Let
me fish. Because when it comes to quotes, people are like, I'm a tradie, or I'm a vet, or I have a local business, or the quotes won't work for me. And that's true. You don't have to post quotes. All you have to do is work out what is extremely valuable and cool to your audience that really resonates. So when if somebody in your target audience came to your page, they're like, yeah, these guys do cool stuff. These guys get me. I love these guys. They're all about what I'm about. So that's one clear distinction I want to make. And then the last piece of that puzzle, Timbo, I could talk about this for days, but one big takeaway I want people to take away is it's all about the S for S, share for share. You want to get as many accounts as you can to shout out your page. Now, I'll be very clear. We spent about $1,000 of paying people to shout us out to get to our first 100,000 followers. But that, if we could have done it if we didn't spend a cent and get to 100,000 followers very quickly using this formula. But you want to look for a mutually beneficial exchange in value of getting other people to post your content. So you might have 20,000 followers, or you might have 1,000 followers, and that person has 3,000 followers. You might want to post their image 3 times, and they'll post yours once because they have more followers than you. But all you want to do, and people do this on YouTube, they do it on podcasts, they do it on everything. It's pretty much just partnerships on social media where you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and that is the most effective way to grow your Instagram page.
Leverage.
leverage
That's
it.
what social media is all about, leverage, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you've got a bigger room of people than me. How about you share what I've got with your people, and I'll share a couple more times with mine. And you paid $1,000 out. Were you just hitting people up with Instagrams, people who had Instagram accounts that you thought had the eyeballs of an audience that you'd like to get in front of? Did you just make contact with them and say, here's some coin? Would you share a couple of posts from my Instagram? Is that the kind of how it works?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
So you'll know there's people in every single niche you could imagine that for some reason, like they might not even have a business behind it. They just got an Instagram page. Like there's 15-year-olds that have like 10 million followers collectively across 10 accounts, and that's how they get paid. It's crazy.
Nuts.
It's a whole nother world, mate.
Yeah. Totally.
But there's a lot of niche pages in all sorts of markets that you could never imagine that's how they get paid. Like that's how they make coin. Is just
Are you just emailing them off their account? You're finding their website, or
so there's a few ways you can go about it. You'll know these kind of pages are open for business if they have their email in their bio. So they have their email in their description of their page, or they have their Kik, K-I-K, which is an instant messaging service like WhatsApp or Viber. That they're open for business.
Love it,
or
mate.
alternatively, you can go to their website and contact them, or you can direct message them privately off Instagram.
A lot of what you talk about, Nathan, it makes sense, and it's about rolling the sleeves up and looking for that email address, or looking for that Kik ID, or just doing the hard yards and approaching people and saying, look, here's a few dollars, can we work together?
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
but you have to make sure it works first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, test it and change. Right, you've already started. We're already into the hustle. That's an example of hustling, right? Okay, that's why we're here, buddy, because you're the hustler, right? Now, I want you to look up Hustler Magazine after this show. Listeners don't, particularly if you've got children. Now, I need to apologise, mate, because I looked up the definition of hustler before getting you on, right? And it's a person adept at aggressive selling or illicit dealing, or it's a prostitute. So, I may have to I should go to the Urban Dictionary, because I'm going to guess they've probably got a more kind of contemporary definition. But the way I see it, hearing you speak at that conference on the Gold Coast the other day, and you just roll up the sleeves, you look for the opportunities, you look for the deals. I wouldn't say you're opportunistic. I just think you're out there, you're out there looking for ways to move the business forward. Verging on aggressive, but certainly highly assertive in your own way. Would that be fair?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I could say we're very aggressive with certain things, but not to a spammy point.
Right. Have you ever crossed the line into aggressiveness where someone's gone, hey, champ, hey, cool your jets, cool your jets?
Every now and then we might get some emails just saying stop or please stop. But nothing that's like really abusive. Like if you want to unsubscribe from our email list because we send you, one email or two emails a week, you don't need. You can email us and we'll unsubscribe you, no questions asked. Or some people just get pissed off. But yeah.
Let's talk about you and the hustle from the point of view of attracting some big names to a magazine that is online, that has only been around for 2.5 years. We're talking Tony Robbins, we're talking Tim Ferris, Seth Godin, Arianna Huffington, Lewis Holmes. The list goes on, buddy. I'll let you share. You pick one of those guests and tell me about the hustle of getting them into the magazine.
Yeah, okay. I think a really good one that took a lot of hustle and took years was Tim Ferris, and we only featured him in the May issue of this year. And that came about...
But for listeners who don't know, and I'm guessing most do, but Tim became famous through the 4-Hour Workweek, a book, The 4-Hour Workweek. He's got a podcast called The Tim Ferris Show. I don't even know how to define him, but he's an interesting cat. Go on.
Yeah. He's a brilliant marketer.
Yeah.
And he's very, very good at what he does. So that book that he wrote, The 4-Hour Workweek, like he's my hero, man. Like he changed the game for me, bro.
Really?
Yeah, that book. Like it's a very marketable book.
Yeah, totally.
even the name.
Yeah.
So it sells the dream a little too much, but there's some solid stuff in the book. I highly recommend anyone to listen to it.
So you're fanboy. You're fanboy number one.
Yeah, massively. And you don't know how many times I've emailed his assistant, at least cold, like on separate occasions, at least 10 times across since I started the magazine. And I just really wanted to interview him. I knew that he'd been on so many other podcasts. He's been, front cover of
he's not
magazine.
shy about doing interview. How'd you get his assistant's email address?
Well, that one came from his website. No, that one is easy.
Yep.
Some are easy. They come from the website, and you just go cold from the website.
Right. So 10 emails. Any response?
Oh,
donuts.
Just coming get a lot donuts. But then the assistant did come back to me and say, "Look, Nathan, I know you really want to get an interview with Tim. He's just really busy at the moment.
You could try Tim Reid. He's probably available."
Yeah. She dropped your name too. And then I was just like, oh, look, okay. And then he was coming to Australia. So he came to Melbourne maybe a year ago. And I tried to do something there. That didn't happen. And it was really, really tough, Tim. And what happened was, this was a good one because I ended up finding Tony Robbins' contact, and that was good because I got a friend to give me that contact. So
someone who knew him,
someone who knew his team, and said contact because with Tony Robbins, he was doing a big book launch and he was looking to do interviews. And my friend, he just called up Tony Robbins' office and said, they said, this is the person you need to speak to. And he gave me that contact. And I used that contact to pitch Tony Robbins. And it turned out that these guys, they run a big agency. And I worked out that a lot of these interviews, it comes from actually the agency that represents these people, because these people don't want to deal with all the inbound requests and outbound stuff that comes through. So they just go, speak to the agency. The agency can work out. And what happened with Tim Ferris was I soon developed this amazing relationship with this agency that represent all these other amazing clients. And they got me interviews with Tony Robbins. But then, when Tim came around, I just said to him, look, I know you guys represent Tim. Let's do an interview with Tim. And then it's done. Boom. Okay. Yep. He's got a video. He's got a TV show he needs to promote. Let's do it. Can you do it in a couple of weeks? And it's done. So it's all about those relationships. It's all about finding these different avenues, whether you go in cold, whether you find the gatekeeper or the agency, or you need to find that PR person. It's all about just trying to weave your way through just, I guess, the weeds to find who the right person is, because there's always one person that will make that call.
What does no mean to you?
No means you just need to keep trying.
Really? Because I knew you'd say that because it's a cliche, but I know you mean it. So, do you just go? Well, you said Ferris, a couple of years. So it's like, this is going to happen. It's just not going to happen as quickly as I want it to. So you really you maintain the energy around it. And just because I know I've tried to get Seth Godin. I haven't tried that hard, Nathan, to get Seth on. In fact, I gave up when I found out why he refused, and I've spoken about it previously on the show. But, it's easy to give up.
It is. And, I'll be really clear, Tim, we get a lot of no's too. A couple of weeks ago, Oprah said no to us.
Does she know who you are?
Probably not. Just pitch, man. You know what I mean?
So is that a no? Is that the end of Oprah? Or you?
No. So they were like, I found her contact, and then I found the correct person, and I this is a really good tip for anybody that's doing business development. I'm going to assume you use Gmail. You want to use a Gmail plugin called Rebump, and you just tick the little box on Rebump, and if somebody doesn't reply to your email, you can set up templates for an automatic follow-up to go out. And, I just had my Rebump going. It took about 3 emails, and the person came back to me and said, look, Nathan, Oprah is all booked out for everything that she's doing here in Australia, but thank you so much for considering us, and please do keep us in mind for any future things. So
Right. Oh, there you
I'll
go.
take that. Yeah, I'll take that and run with it, and I'll follow up in 6 months.
That's not a no. That's a not
yeah.
now.
That's right.
Which has got a
Same
no
thing-
in it. It's got NO in it. But hey, you'll be back. I have no doubt.
Yeah, that's right. And same with Jamie Oliver. You know, his team
hang on.
said no.
Hang on. Now we're talking bromance, Channy.
You really like Jamie?
Mate, I'd almost crossed the line.
Wow.
Oh, but he's my hero. You know what? You know,
Well,
he's-
off air, we might have to do some contact swapping, maybe.
Cool,
But
cool.
I hope I hope no one in his team hears this to hear that I'm giving around their contact.
love it. So, are you close to getting him, or he said no, but you've
Said no, but I will follow up.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
good man. We will talk off air. We'll continue the conversation. But so the hustle is take us inside. It's just keeping on going. It is
Just
not
constantly
giving up.
pitching, being super organised.
Always pitching, super organised, right? Okay.
Try and blow people away where it's like, when I pitch, man, I'm like, this is what you'll get. So I lay it out really nicely. You know, I've got an email database of 100,000 people, entrepreneurs that will hear about this interview, either consume it from the magazine or the podcast or read the blog post or whatever. We've got social channels of, over 500,000. We'll promote it heavily over social. And an even better time to come to that person is if they want press. So, for example, Gary Vaynerchuk, I know he's launching a book soon because he signed a 10-person book deal. So he'll be looking for press very, very soon. So now's the time to start pitching, because then you say, we can get this many people to hear about your latest book.
Yeah.
So, and then as a triple whammy, we say, if you'd like to see how your front cover interview would look, or your magazine feature would look, we've attached the feature we've done with Richard Branson
Bang.
and Arianna Huffington.
Bang.
Yeah. So can you see how I try and make it an absolute no-brainer?
Total no-brainer. Now, just to be clear for listeners who aren't subscribers of Foundr yet, some of your interviews you do over the phone and obviously transcribe them, turn them into the magazine article. Others, like, for example, Branson, you didn't get to speak to Sir Richard, but that was an email response, yeah? So you just mix it up. Are most of them over Skype?
Yep. Most of them are Skype, and we always pitch for Skype because that allows us also to do a lot more of the content. So
Totally.
we're always trying to find leverage with the content too.
So you got to tell me, you get the Tim. Let's go back to the Tim Ferris interview. You get Tim Ferris. You got him. You've got him. It's coming up. You call him. He answers. Are you like a little schoolgirl?
Yeah, pretty much. And he's a really humble, nice, down-to-earth guy. I was just blown away. It was so much fun. And
Right.
we got some really good gold.
No doubt. It's the trick is to get under this. Well, not under the skin. It's like to get the gold that they haven't shared elsewhere. Which I think you've done with me today, mate. I think I'll have to go back and listen to other interviews that you've done, mate. I'm loving it. Well done on doing what you've done. I've just got one more. We've gone well over time here, but I'm loving having this chat with you, big guy, little guy.
That's all good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
28-year-old guy. Hey, I'm the crusty old bloke here. Tell us about the young people of today, Nathan. Just give me your thoughts. I'm going to give you 4 topics. You just give me your immediate reaction about what you are now representing the 20-somethings, the 20-something entrepreneur business builder, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. But hey, you've put the flag in the ground, mate. Now you got to hold it, wave
All right,
it.
let's do this.
What are their thoughts on money?
Can't get enough.
Really? Megalomaniacs.
Yeah, look, I think people of our generation, the Instagrams with the flashy cars, like,
You all want to be bloody famous.
no, I don't want to be famous. I think I'm quite humble and down to earth like that. But I think you'll find on a majority scale, a lot of young people, they want to start a business just to get paid, just to make money. But you'll soon quickly realize that it's a lot more than that. And that's what happened to me. Like, I'll be 100% honest with you, Tim. When I started Foundr, I created because I wanted to make money. But then I quickly realized, and I'm so grateful that I did, that the amount of money you you make is in proportion to how well you serve your community and how much value you provide to a marketplace.
Yeah. Too true. Again, great business lesson. 20-somethings thought on authority.
I think, 20-somethings don't really like being told what to do, which I think helps us in a way, because I think there's a lot of young people right now in my age gap, like 20s, that are either that are really interested in entrepreneurship or looking to start something, and that's what we're trying to do with Foundr. We're trying to fuel that entrepreneurial mindset. We're trying to promote entrepreneurship. We're trying to lead that movement taking place. Also, because the internet has changed the game, you can start a business with little to no capital. You don't need to raise money, So, yeah, look, I think, I think definitely young people do feel a little more entitled, and I guess they don't also like being told what to do.
That whole conversation for another time. In fact, I've got to do an episode on that one day. The internet changing the game. It sounds obvious, but I don't think most of us realise just how much it has changed the game, what it has enabled. I mean, it's mind-blowing. Read the book, The $100 Startup. That'll kind of get you thinking about that whole thing. Mate, lifestyle, what are they thinking?
In terms of work-life balance, I think, love to travel. Travel is a big one. People our age love to travel. Like to go and party a lot.
Yeah. But would it be fair to say you see your folks working their rings off and you guys are going, well, I'm not going to do that. I am going to get the balance.
Yeah, no, look, I think it depends on the person there. Because me...
You'd work your ring off?
Yeah, like you know me. It's the hustle, dude. Like,
correct.
I'll be really clear with anyone listening. I work really hard, dude. I work really hard, and I'm not prepared to, like you said, pull up the sleeves and just grind it out and just eat crap. Like, I've been doing that for a long time now, man, and I'll continue to do it because I think the harder I work, the luckier I get.
And I wondered too whether, speaking on behalf of the 20-somethings, whether work, for those entrepreneurial ones, work is their life. And that's not like in a negative way. In previous generations, it would be, but this generation is like, no, it's just like as an entrepreneur, I love what I do. I socialise with people I work with. I'm talking about work when I'm socialising with people I don't work with. It's like, it's just who I am. That's the difference, I'm thinking. Mate, what's their biggest concern?
I think it's a whole lot of things. Like, I think a lot of people are doing what they're told. So they go to school, they get good grades, get a job, but then they seem to be unsatisfied. So that's a big thing. They're not making as much money as they would like. They're not working in a job that fulfills them. Society tells us to go and get married and stuff like that. So you have to find a lifelong partner. You want to travel. You don't make enough money.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Goodness me. Hey, buddy, Nathan Chan, founder of Foundr, chief hustler. You're onto something, I think.
Well, thank you so much, Tim. Is this where we wrap it up?
This is kind of where I'm pulling it all together. I'm going to tie a little bow on it by saying, listeners, if you loved what Nathan's about, or if you do love what Nathan's about, can they find you on Twitter?
Yep, Nathan H. Chan.
Clever. What's H? Harry?
Howard. My middle name.
Very regal.
Howie.
Howie. Hey, Howie, thanks for sharing, buddy.
You're welcome, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
What a good fella. Hey? Another young head on wise shoulders. Or is it wise head on young shoulders? You know what I mean? That was Nathan Chan. FoundrMagazine.com. And Foundr without the E. And hit him up on Twitter at Nathan H. Chan. Tell him you heard him on the show. Tell him what a hustler you think he is. Hey, I want to share my top 3. Probably like top 30, but I'll get it down to top 3 learnings from that fireside chat. Thanks to the good folk at 99 Designs, who can get you a design you will love in 7 days over at 99designs.com/Timbo and netregistry.com.au/Timbo to get your online marketing sorted. Learning number 1 from old Channy. Consider how you can add social proof to your marketing message. Think about getting media interviews. You can get them. Remember that interview I did a few weeks ago with Sammy Lamb from Media Maneuvers? I'll put a link in the show notes. She explained exactly how to do it. And you've got to think not just, traditional press, but think about us podcasters, bloggers, YouTubers, getting interviews on their shows, hey? Social proof can also come from testimonials. So that was a big learning. Learning number 2, look at any social media channel as a way to get people into your sales funnel. You got a sales funnel, right? Once you're getting them in there, hey, you are off to the races. Don't chase likes. Chase getting people into your sales funnel. Learning number 3, Nathan's Instagram formula, very clever, but it works for any social media channel. Think about it. Clear, consistent theme, consistent posting, work out what's valuable to your audience, and share for share. Hey, that's pretty good. You can do that. What did you learn from that chat? I would love to know. Nathan'd love to know. He is standing by to reply to your comments in the show notes over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com and look for episode 284. Go on, off you go. An anonymous wise soul once said, "Small business isn't for the faint of heart. It's for the brave, the patient, and the persistent. It's for the overcomer. Long live the overcomer." I know. It's a long show. But guess what? The marketing gold continues to drip from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ, because I've got a listener question from Jimmy Dossis. He says, "Hey, Timbo, long-time listener and sometime forum member." Thanks, Jimmy. "Firstly, thanks for everything you do. I can say quite emphatically, good word emphatically, that I've learnt more from you than I did in my business degree. At beep. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing." It's a good thing, Jimmy. Anyway, I'm starting a business with a friend, and what we're developing is a short travel language courses as a product to sell through travel agencies. What it actually looks like is a one-on-one tuition over something like Skype. We have a product developed for Japanese, but we're very early stage in terms of getting it out there. I'm wondering, given your experience in the travel industry, yes, Jimmy, I used to be the marketing manager at Flight Centre, whether you had any advice for us relating to the travel industry specifically, and what might be the best way for us to start selling to travel agencies. Any advice would be extremely helpful. I know you're a busy man. Oh, yes, Jimmy. Jimmy, my time is precious, and it would be greatly appreciated. Okay, you ready, Jimmy? 5 things to do, mate. 1, make an outrageous claim. Get your marketing message right. I would suggest something like, "We'll have you fluently speaking 10 key phrases in any language in 15 minutes. Now, don't make a claim you can't honour, but create some kind of outrageous claim to get people sitting up and paying attention. Number 2, seek out the low-hanging fruit, people you know in the industry, for example, and ask for their input. You don't know who knows who, the old 6 degrees of separation. And instead of going out, with the agenda of selling to them, tell them that you respect their opinion and you'd like their input, and you never know what will come of a question like that. 3rd thing to do, Jimmy, incentivise agents to sell. Money talks, champ. Number 4, create an authority website. I would actually give away something in exchange for an email address, something like 10 key tips on learning any language. There must be some key things that we can all do to pick up a language quickly. Mate, give that away in exchange for an email. Build that list that you can communicate to over time. Learning number 5, ask for 10 minutes in the travel agent's morning meetings, and they all have them. And if you do get to 10 minutes, use it wisely, mate. Craft a fantastic pitch. Hey, go back to previous episodes about how to craft a pitch. And also make sure you've got a leave behind of some sort, a brochure or something. And maybe in that 10 minutes that you get with them, show them how they can do a job on them. Do a role play of how they can learn a language. Jimmy, great question. Good luck with the business, mate. Everyone else, you got a listener question? Ripper. Go to iTunes, leave a listener review for my show, leave your website and a question in there as well. and I'll give you a little bit of promotion and I'll answer your question along the way. So head over to the Apple iTunes store right now. Or if you want an answer quicker, join the forum over at crankmymarketing.com. Okay, I reckon that should just about do it. That has been episode 284. But there is plenty of marketing gold coming your way in the weeks and months ahead. Next episode, I'll have a chat with Kate Johansson of Koja, which is a breakfast and salad topper business. Yeah, salad toppers, eh? She's created a fantastically beautiful brand and shares how she's done it. She's also a Shark Tank victim, hey, as in the TV show, making her the third on this show. If you need any marketing, that was a weird noise. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll just ignore that. If you need any marketing touchpoints design, then grab your free $99 design upgrade over at 99designs.com/Timbo and have a design you will love in 7 days guaranteed. Be sure to use Net Registry if you need a website or to get your website found. They've got exclusive packages just for you, the treasured listener, over at netregistry.com.au/Timbo. Hey, audio production for this show, well, it's done by superstar Daryl Misson. Thanks, Dazza. And the music bed written, produced and sung by the very fluey Lockie Doley. Yeah, he's got a bad cold. Get better soon, Lock. If you want to surround yourself with other motivated business owners, then join the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. Just do it. $69 a month. No lock-in contract. And a 30-day. No questions asked. Money-back guarantee. Hey? What more can I give you? Over at crankmymarketing.com. If you need a speaker for an upcoming event, timreid.com.au. Until next week, you beautiful, motivated small business owner, I'm Timbo Reid. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.